Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Call the meeting to order. Call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
He couldn't hear you.
Trustee Healy.
Here.
Trustee Katsinas.
Here.
Trustee Malani.
Here.
Trustee Compass.
Here.
Trustee Reardon.
Here.
Trustee Radashevsky. Mayor Pika.
Here.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the August 5th, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of August 5th, 2024.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Abstain. I was absent from the meeting.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pika.
Aye.
Acting Village Clerk appointment and oath of office.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to advise and consent the appointment of Brian Gaspardo to the position of acting village clerk. Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pika.
Aye. And now I will swear Brian in. So Brian, if you want to. Brian, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brian Gaspardo,
Having been appointed to the office
having been appointed to the office
of the village clerk
of the village clerk
in the village of Orland Park,
in the village of Orland Park,
in the counties of Cook and Will, aforesaid,
in the counties of Will and Cook, aforesaid,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of village clerk
of village clerk
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
A graduate of Harvard and University of Chicago,
Yes.
University of Chicago, and CPA. So welcome aboard, Brian. We're happy to have you, and I know tonight will be a little bit bumpy, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
So next, read.
I'll figure it out as long as you tell me what to do.
You just go right there.
Appointment to the Technology Commission.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
I move to advise and consent the appointment of Stephen Troglio to the Technology Commission.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Riordan.
Aye.
Trustee Pikow.
Mayor
Or
Pika,
Mayor
yes.
Pikow, sorry.
Aye.
I got on a roll. Mayor Pikow.
Aye. All right, Steve, if you want to come on up, I'll swear you in. Congratulations. Thank you. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Stephen Troglio,
Having been appointed to the office
have been appointed to the office
of the Technology Commission
of the Technology Commission
in the village of Orland Park,
of the Village of Orland Park,
in the counties of Cook and Will, aforesaid,
and counties of Cook and Will and aforesaid.
do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Technology Commission
of the office of the Technology
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations and welcome aboard. That's yours. Welcome, Steve. Be careful what you got yourself into, because three of the trustees up here started on the Technology Commission.
Next item is the Community Pride Awards for the Chicago United Soccer Club.
Give me a second now. So it's my honor to give these awards for a Community Pride Award for their outstanding achievement. And today we have, I'll give it just a second. So the girls soccer club were the Illinois President's Cup champion in 2023, and they qualified for the Midwest President Cup Regionals in Sioux Falls, South Dakota in this year, 2024. And then the Midwest President Cup champion, so they won, they qualify for the Nationals July 12th through 16th, and offered them a championship tournament that earns advancement into the U.S. Youth Regional event, which then earns them advancement into the U.S. Youth Soccer National President's Cup, and their team won the Illinois President's Cup, earning them a spot at the Midwest President's Regional President's Cup, with their team winning the event that earned them the spot at the USIS National President's Cup. So anything like this takes a lot of dedication from the girls. It also takes a lot of dedication from the family members. So girls, you should thank your parents for all that they do, because I guarantee you between the costs and the travel and the taking you to practice, they give up a lot as well on your behalf. So thank them too. This is a rare case where I get to turn it over to someone else on our board to give the information, because Trustee Reardon's daughter, Ella, is the team captain. So I'm going to turn it over to Trustee Reardon to talk about the team.
Well, congratulations, first of all, absolutely. So I'll be very brief. The girls, they work incredibly hard, as you can all imagine. They've overcome adversity. I've known some of them 7, 8 years now. The experiences that they've been able to have traveling around together with their families, they've had injuries, they've had, several other issues that they've had to deal with, but it's been great life lessons for them. They got great coaching with Coach Jose Smith right here. He's been fantastic. He runs the entire program from all the way down to the kids just starting out. And I'll just finally with, they're great soccer players, but they're all incredibly young women, and they're going to do a lot of great things. So congratulations again.
Community Pride Award, so congratulations. And we'll get a picture with all the girls. Coach, anything you'd like to add?
The ladies, obviously, all the hard work you put in. It's a year-long event. It's just so hard to get there, and to actually get there was amazing. And obviously, winning the first two, and obviously getting the national title and coming up as finalists was a huge accomplishment. So obviously, we got one more shot to try to win the whole thing. So let's start off this season and set the goals. Go. Yeah.
Great job.
Ready?
Yep.
Next on the agenda is non-scheduled citizens and visitors for agenda-specific public comment.
So, non-scheduled citizens and visitors for agenda-specific comment. There are a few signed in here. When you come up, please let us know what the agenda item as well as your name. If you've signed in, we have your address and all that, so that's helpful. Remember, you have 3 minutes. The board's not gonna engage you or talk with you or answer any questions. It's your opportunity to comment before we get to our part of the agenda. Also, no yelling, screaming, clapping, all of that. This is a board meeting, so we expect decorum to stay professional. So we'll start with Vince Kelly.
I'd like to address the board because the board are the only people who look me in the eye when I speak, or any of the other people that have come here and have the respect to look at me when I speak. I'd like to tell you that your illegal attempt to annex our area is just that, illegal. Your own team said that our area was not desirable for annexation. It said it because the terrain was difficult. And it also said if you did do it, you should do it by voluntary means, not involuntary, which is what they're doing right now. Keith here clutched his pearls when the governor tried to say we should wear masks and said it was an attack on our freedoms. But somehow, forcing our homes and making us put curbs in, sidewalks and streetlights in a place that we moved into just because they don't have them is not infringing on our freedoms. What purpose does this serve? Who has asked this? We have lots of questions and no answers. We've seen what kind of leadership we're getting into. We've seen 2 audits go ignored and then lied about to the comptroller. The comptroller of Illinois showed that there was communication between the 2. So we have questions about everything. And I know one thing. There is no purpose to this. It serves nothing but to stroke Keith's ego, and I politely say, stroke it yourself.
Thank you for your comments. James Gosnell.
Good evening. This is regards to item number 13, under Development Services, about the 4th item down, file number ending in 0546, the 14555 and 14567 82nd Avenue annexation. I was a little surprised to see this on the agenda because we have a draft memorandum of understanding with the village attorney for review. So I learned that this may be not a forced annexation approval that you're considering. I just want to make sure that when the item comes up that we clarify that this is approval for the memorandum of understanding, which is still draft form, and not a forced annexation if possible, right? Do you understand my comment?
I do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Carrie Shepard.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Carrie Shepard. I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. All the opinions I'm going to share this evening are mine and mine alone. So, recently the Village of Orland Park has pursued since 2022 a program that has been termed strategic annexation. I want to share some information regarding Illinois law that may be helpful for the board members this evening as they consider votes on this today and in the future. The Illinois Supreme Court has very clearly said that piecemeal annexation, where small plots of land are artificially divided into areas that together would be too large to pursue involuntarily, cannot be pursued involuntarily independently, exactly in the manner that has been pursued in the Silver Lake Dells, Silver Lake Drive, and adjacent areas in the last several years. As a result of that, I want to encourage you not to vote in favor of this ordinance today or any point in the future, as you would be subjecting the Village of Orland Park to the consequences of statutory violations. I also want to point out that in 2021, the village conducted a study on my neighborhood, Silver Lake Drive, in which it said that the area was not available for involuntary annexation. It said by annexation by agreement only. And additionally, in the recent studies, it appears that my property acreage was Bizarrely, only a fraction of what it actually was, perhaps as a mathematical attempt to keep us underneath the claimed area requirements. Now, I talked last time about the financial motivations associated with the village's pursuit of strategic annexation over the last couple of years. Keith, just for your awareness, I did actually look into what I promised I was going to look into, and I do not recant any of my prior statements. Now, with respect to that, I want to point out that if you do go forward with this involuntary annexation program, the residents will swiftly move for what is termed disconnection under Illinois statutes regarding municipal law, which essentially means that a simple majority of residents can vote to undo what this board will do, making any investments or actions that you may do as a result of your interest in annexing these areas ultimately moot. One last thing.
40 seconds.
Keith, I've heard a rumor or two regarding the way that you treat political opponents in your jurisdiction. I want to be very clear here. I am not a political opponent, and if anyone here is foolish enough to attempt these childish antics, they will be documented, and there will be consequences. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. That's one warning. Chief, if he stands up again, please, and does that and interrupts, please remove him from the room. Thank you. Dave Smith?
Don't set the clock. I gotta congratulate my tax and audit man, Brian Gaspardo. The town or the village could not have asked for a better person. Second generation, his dad did tax and audit for our corporation, Repealing Petroleum, and how many years? 35 years, 40 years? So,
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you.
Village of Orland Park. 30 seconds, 3 minutes. All right. So I'm here standing opposing the annexation of our subdivision, Silver Lake Dells. I understand and read the opinions that are made by the Village of Orland Park and why, and mainly the fear of the possibility of annexation through from Payless or Oak Forest. So a deal is only good unless it's beneficial to both parties, and I think one of the things that the fears that is out there is additional infrastructure which would harm the environment, the trees, and the beauty that we have in the area. Whenever there's an annexation, I've done annexations agreement before with my business, and there's usually some agreement between both parties in that things like water, sewer, septics, if there can be something that can be grandfathered in. I know there's also other issues as far as animals. I don't know how legally that can be done, but I just would urge, if this is a path forward for the village, that once again, a deal is only good unless it's beneficial to both parties, that things would be taken into consideration for the residents that would be affected by this annexation. So thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
All right.
Is there anyone else here to speak? Okay, if you could just please give your name. It'd be helpful if you also give your address, but you don't have to.
Dental appointment. Anyways, my
Okay.
name is Dave Wiechek. I'm at 7881 Forest View Drive. So I just want to attempt to explain from my perspective what I think is happening with the Silver Lake Dells, Silver Lake Drive ordeal. I just want to point out we had a fantastic group of people band together, a couple different groups band together. There's text chains, there's people talking on the phone, and people bringing all their concerns together as a community. I'm new to the area, 7 years-ish. I don't really know anybody, but now I do. I've talked to people. Me, 3, 4 other people, we've gone door to door. We've talked to everybody. I want to show if there's a way to submit things. We've got 75% of the households we were able to speak with and gain signatures in opposition to the proposal. And what that is with our current level of information, which I'll say, not to speak for everybody, but I really feel we're lacking information. We're ill-informed because we're under-informed. And because we don't feel we have good answers to questions, speculation's running rampant. And you know how it goes. You should hear some of the things we're hearing. So we're frustrated, we're scared. I guess my request would be to have some type of open forum, open air town hall meeting. I know that's probably money and time, and you guys already put in a ton of time to your lives and this whole thing. But getting an email, respectfully, getting an email from someone, if someone from the offices does reply with some response, only has caused to raise more questions, possibly even more confusion. So some type of verbal discourse, a town hall meeting where we can voice our concerns, ask questions, and get real-time answers would be great. Every situation of the 75% of the households we spoke with, and really that number would have been higher if people didn't think I was coming around for like hail damage, but of the people we spoke with, they all have a question. And it's kind of a broad question you can put into a general bucket, but then it gets down to the nitty-gritty of their situation, what their septic's like, what their house is like, what they think about what the taxes are gonna do. Again, some type of town hall meeting where we could come as a calm, non-pitchforky group of people and have some questions answered and discussed would be great. Last thing I think is very important regarding the goats. I don't know what's going on with goat yoga. They seem to have a really cool thing going on. All I'd like is a letter, an official Orland Park letterhead telling my wife she can have no barnyard animals in any way. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else here to speak?
Hi, Mayor. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I know, I want to say, first of all, I want to say, Francesca Sturt, hi again. I didn't like being on TV. It wasn't very enjoyable, but whatever. So I still have not received my letter. I just got this. I don't know who got this on their door, I guess. I never got this. And I called the office twice trying to get information, and I did not get it. I actually found a nonprofit that was also willing to work with us. I just want to say that if this is what's going on, where you're all willing to kind of work with us now, right? Because that's what you stated here, that you're going to postpone it and work with us. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to hear us, because this is how it'll work, right? And we can come here and we can attack everybody here who's working so hard to do this, but I'm really glad to see that you're gonna come up with the memorandum of understanding, and we can talk and we can see, and that'll give us a chance to do what we need to do, give you a chance to do what you need to do, and hopefully as citizens of this town, of this area, we can come together as a team and do something that's beneficial for everybody. So I just wanna thank you for seeing that, and please try and get me the letter, somebody, okay?
We tried to hand deliver them on Friday.
Okay, thanks so much. All right, thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Anybody else here to speak? Okay, go ahead and read the next one.
Okay, the next agenda item is the accounts payable for August 6th, 2024 through August 19th, 2024 for the approval.
Trustee Healy.
I move to approve the accounts payable August 6, 2024 through August 19, 2024 in the amount of $2,714,752.68.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next item is the payroll for August 2nd, 2024. Consent agenda vote.
So, you just say the consent agenda, and then I read it.
All right, consent agenda.
All right. Item A, payroll for August 2nd, 2024. Item B, village facility caulking project. Item C, Cook County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan, MJHMP resolution. Item D, resolution authorizing application by the village for Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program funds for the McGinnis Slough multi-use path through the Commonwealth Edison easement from LaGrange Road to Wolf Road. Item E, Illinois Energy Conservation Code, 2021 adopted model code. Item F, resolution acknowledging the appointment of deputy clerks of the Village of Orland Park. Item G, switch replacement for police dispatch system. Item H, soils and materials testing and engineering RFP contract amendment number 2. Item I, Waterly cloud-based data collection software purchase. Item J, Taste of Orland Park tents, tables, and rental equipment contract addendum A and change order 1. Item K, amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class A liquor licenses ordinance. Item L, CHC well-being wellness screening. Item M, premium event staffing bag check services.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to approve items A through M of the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. You already got it down.
Next item on the agenda is the 2024 Orland Hills West Road and Ditch Reconstruction, notice of cancellation.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to terminate the agreement between the Village of Orland Park and M&J Asphalt Paving Company Incorporated for the 2024 Orland Hills West Road and Ditch Reconstruction Agreement dated March 4th, 2024, and authorize the village manager to send a 15-day notice of cancellation.
Second.
And what this is, and George, correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially, this is something that was going to get done this year as part of the roads program, and we needed some MWRD things. The interesting thing here, for those of you who are here, is Orland Hills is actually something that was annexed many years ago, and we are fixing the roads, but there's still no sidewalks there, there's still no street lights, and there's no plan to be. It's just redoing the roads and redoing the ditches. And the roads all had to be rebuilt because they weren't built, they were built substandard to begin with, so the village is basically building them to the current standards. Because MWRD, because of the ditches, we need permitting from them. They haven't gotten us the permits yet, and that we won't be able to finish it. So rather than trying to piecemeal it this year and leaving things under construction, we're going to do both Orland Hills West and Orland Hills East, so the whole subdivision will get done at one time as opposed to over 2 years like it was originally planned. That pretty much cover it?
Perfect. Mr. Mayor, just want to be crystal clear that this has nothing to do with MJ Asphalt. I mean, any of their performance issues or anything like that, correct?
No, it's just, as the mayor said, MWRD delay, we couldn't get it done this year. We're just going to wrap it up into one new bid next year.
Got it.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
just to be clear, Orland Hills West is a subdivision within Orland Park. Doesn't have anything to do with
Yeah,
the
and
city
Orland
of
Hills existed, well, that was still, the current town named Orland Hills was called West Haven, just to be clear. So they changed their name, but Orland Hills subdivision has been here for much longer than that. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
I abstain. I have a family relationship with the vendor.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, 14299 Wolf Road, zoning map amendment for Yunker Schoolhouse.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
I move to approve the Plan Commission recommended action regarding case number 2024-0488, also known as 14299 Wolf Road zoning map amendment, and I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Rezoning Certain Real Estate from E1 Estate Residential to Biz General Business."
Second.
And a quick summary of this, Yunker Schoolhouse has been moved several times. We've actually tried to get it moved again to a village location. We've offered to take it, but it's still sitting where it is. So, but where it sits, it should not be an E1 zoning, basically, because it's a very small piece of land. Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, ordinance repealing Joe Rizza Acura special use permit.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Campos.
move to adopt an ordinance entitled Ordinance Repealing Ordinance Number 5817, amendment to a special use Rizza Acura 8760 West 159th Street.
Second.
Are there any comments? So this is, Joe Rizza just changed their plans, and they're repealing one and getting another one. So that's what these next two agenda items are. Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
As promised, Joe Rizza Porsche dealership expansion, special use permit amendment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to approve the Plan Commission recommended action regarding case number 2024-0307, also known as Joe Rizza Porsche dealership expansion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next on the agenda, 14555 to 14567 of 82nd Avenue Annexation.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance annexing property 14555 through 14567 82nd Avenue, surrounded unincorporated territories.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Katsinas, seconded by Trustee Healy. So George, we had a gentleman speak that said that the MOUs aren't signed yet and they're not done yet. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, so I would entertain a motion to postpone this agenda item to a future date.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll on the postponement.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. Now, call the, actually, you don't need to call the other one. So that is postponed until a later date.
Next on the agenda, 14900 and 14955 South Wolf Road Annexation.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Healy.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 5889 and annexing property 14900 and 14955 South Wolf Road, surrounded unincorporated territory.
Second.
Are there any comments? So these two properties are both commercial potential properties, and unlike what you heard previously, the surrounded properties, it is within our ability to force annex them, and we are doing so because they are commercial, and we're not waiting because we don't know what Cook County will do. So call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Compass.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next on the agenda, annexation of surrounded unincorporated territory, Silver Lake Drive property.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled, annexation of surrounded unincorporated territory, Silver Lake Drive property.
Second.
And if anyone has comments, you can follow mine if you have any to add. But we did try to deliver this letter to you. And as we talked about before, because previously we heard about that there are no benefits. There are a lot of benefits of having an Orland Park address being located where you are, which are the Orland Park open lands, the Orland Park parks, 911, our public safety efforts, and our roads, which are all paid for by Orland Park residents, and you enjoy those at their expense. And obviously, your properties being in Orland Park helps a lot, as well as a real estate person on this board would tell you. Unlike what you've heard, we have no interest in putting water and sewer in your subdivision unless you're interested in doing so. There will come a time likely, because we've been seeing this in other communities, where Cook County will no longer accept septic, and they'll no longer accept your well, and then you're going to want to annex, and that's what's happened in other communities. At that time, we would, if you were annexed, we would obviously allow you to connect, but that would be at your expense. But we have no interest in forcing that. You're welcome to stay on that as long as you like. We have other subdivisions that have been on well and septic for, quite some time. So, additionally, as I talked about earlier, we have a lot of subdivisions that do not have sidewalks. None of these subdivisions have sidewalks. Yours will not. It's way too costly to change that, and also MWRD probably wouldn't allow it because the ditch system is part of the storm sewer system. So your other situations will also be grandfathered in. What we care about in the big picture is that Oak Forest and Palos Heights can annex you as easily as we can. We do not know if they plan to do this or not. I haven't heard anything. I don't think, based on the current administrations, that they're looking to do that. But we also know that it's happened. Orland Hills did it. There became a whole big annexation problem between Orland Hills and Orland Park along 167th Street. We don't want to see that happen again. So in the long term, it is in the long-term interest to get the properties like yours and some others annexed. We did focus on the commercial first. We are now focusing on the residential. However, at the same time, we have no interest. We'd much rather do it voluntarily. You know that we have an interest in doing it. We did reach out a couple of times. How many times did we send involuntary letters?
Yeah, in 2022 and 2023.
2022 and 2023, we sent letters. We did have some people voluntarily annexed, but most didn't contact us. So now we're going down the next step in the process. What my recommendation for the board, because we're not in a hurry until we hear something from Oak Lawn or not Oak Lawn, Oak Forest or Palos Heights, until we hear something otherwise, we're not in a hurry, is that we answer everyone's questions. We get an MOU signed. Staff and our attorneys are available to answer those questions. Please make sure we're, reaching out and, getting back to people who call, because we've heard this a couple times that we're not answering. So please make sure that you answer people, and, you're welcome to bring your attorneys and have those discussions. So just like the ones that we did earlier today, the two on 82nd Avenue, which I think the draft MOUs, I was told the MOUs were signed. Apparently they're not signed yet. So since they're not, we postponed it. The same thing for this. I would entertain a motion to postpone this to a later date.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to postpone further consideration of the annexation of the Silver Lake Drive properties until such time as the board deems appropriate to revisit this matter.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, Silver Lake Dells annexation.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
I move to recommend to the village board adopt an ordinance entitled Ordinance Annexing Property Silver Lake Dells, 88th Avenue and 151st Street surrounding unincorporated territory.
Second.
And likewise, I would entertain a motion to postpone this.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to postpone further consideration of the annexation of the Silver Lake Dells properties until such time as the board deems appropriate to revisit this matter.
Second.
And the only thing I would add, George and Dennis, is let's make sure we contact everyone and enter these discussions, because we are planning on annexing this. This is going to get done at some point. I would much rather do it with a memorandum of understanding so that all of the residents there are comfortable. And then that's what I would much rather see. I think the board members feel the same way.
Understood.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Milani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Next on the agenda, TIF reimbursement, 143rd and John Humphrey. Recommended resolution.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
I move to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution of the Village of Orland Park, Cook County, Illinois, setting forth and expressing an official intent to induce certain expenditures of redevelopment project costs in connection with the redevelopment of the proposed 143rd and John Humphrey redevelopment project area to be reimbursed from proceeds of the applicable special tax allocation fund.
Second.
And just so, for all three, this one and the next two items, what this does is there's not a TIF established yet, but it's a requirement if a TIF does get established for us to pass this resolution so that the expenses that we are incurring right now for the TIF and the expenses that the developer is incurring for developing the TIF are reimbursable when the TIF is established out of TIF funds. So it's just a requirement to be done. Doesn't necessarily mean there will be a TIF, doesn't necessarily mean there will be a project, but it's just the preparatory things that we need to do in the event that it does happen. Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, TIF reimbursement, former Andrews site. Recommended resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
move to adopt a resolution entitled Resolution of the Village of Orland Park, Cook County, Illinois, setting forth and expressing an official intent to induce certain expenditures of redevelopment project costs in connection with the redevelopment of the proposed Andrew property redevelopment project area to be reimbursed from proceeds of the applicable special tax allocation fund.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next agenda item, TIF reimbursement, 159th and LaGrange. Recommended resolution.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Reardon.
move to adopt resolution entitled Resolution of the Village of Orland Park, Cook County, Illinois, setting forth and expressing an official intent to induce certain expenditures of redevelopment project costs, just went blank, project costs in connection with the redevelopment of the proposed 159th and LaGrange redevelopment project area to be reimbursed from proceeds of the applicable special tax allocation fund.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Next item, 2025 Winter Spring Program Lists.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Campos.
I move to approve the recommended programs and events and payment to the contractual vendors and instructors at the time of invoicing and authorize village manager to execute all agreements with contractual vendors and instructors listed in the Winter Spring 2025 Program Guide, subject to village attorney review.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Last agenda item, ordinance terminating the Village of Orland Park Retiree Health Insurance Trust Agreement.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Healy.
I move to adopt an ordinance entitled Ordinance Terminating the Village of Orland Park Retiree Health Insurance Trust Agreement.
Second.
And just so everyone knows what this is, so when we had an early retirement program, there was a health insurance trust agreement that was created as part of that for the early retirees. No one is in it anymore, so therefore it does not need to remain established, correct?
Well,
And it expired, I believe, also.
as part of the early retirement, there was a health component to it. The village has put in all of its proceeds into the trust. Those proceeds will stay there. We will continue to use a third party to administer it. What we don't need anymore is a trust board to oversee that. The money has been put aside. We've done our obligation, and now we can move on.
It's not going to change anything for their benefits or any of that kind of stuff. It's just it's a board that's not needed anymore. Call the roll.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Campos.
Aye.
Trustee Reardon.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Non-scheduled citizens and visitors for public comment on items relevant to village business.
Is there anybody here to speak on
Would I be able to just add to what I said and just clarify a little bit?
No. No, this is for other business, not for the agenda items. So,
Just want to say Sangeeta did a great job. I didn't mean to imply there was any comments by the.
no, I understand. Thank you. Anybody else to speak? Okay.
Any board comments?
So, trustee Compass.
So I had some comments. So first of all, welcome, Brian. Both a friend and a neighbor. You did a great job tonight. I think one of the hardest tests is telling Trustee Milani and my voice apart. And I think you only had one miss tonight, so. That's right. That's right.
Still.
I do have some comments for Pat O'Sullivan, but I believe we'll see him in the future again. Hopefully he'll be here so I can.
It is
share
my
this.
understanding that Pat will come and address the board.
Okay,
in
perfect.
public comment, so I'm going to wait the same.
Because I know how he loves my comments, so I will save those for him when he comes here. So I just want to say, I know we've been saying a lot about this summer, and as we near the end of our first summer season in the newly renovated Centennial Park West concert venue, I just, again, want to take a moment to express my heartfelt thanks to all of our dedicated staff. This has been a village-wide effort and has been outstanding. Reintroducing a space like this is no small feat, and the success we've seen this year is a testament to the hard work and commitment of everyone involved, especially Recreation, Public Works, Police, and the rest of our village staff. At the end of every major event that we've hosted here, the mayor and I have had the privilege of bidding farewell to the attendees at the gate. The number of smiles, happy reviews, and endorsements we've received is a clear testament to all the adjustments and the flexibility that staff have put into managing events. There's been a lot of creative thinking, such as that drone show, which I know came in a little bit late in the process, was outstanding, and it shows how dedicated everyone here truly is to making these events memorable for our entire community. Change of this scale is never easy, and the pursuit of perfection can often get in the way of achieving greatness. We've learned together this year, and it's been truly amazing to see all of this come to life. I'm deeply grateful for each and every one of you who has contributed to making this happen, and I'm already starting to hear ideas from staff about how to make next year even better. So thank you all for your outstanding work. I look forward to many successful seasons to come. Thank you.
Trustee Milani.
I'd also like to welcome Clerk Gaspardo to the board. Thank you for joining us. It'd be good having somebody that can actually tell the difference between our voices because they're not the same. I
Just
don't
come from
get
the
it.
same direction.
Okay. So I guess I'll start out my comments. On August 10th, there were 20 athletes that participated in the Owls, the district tournament, our Owls bowling team. Wow, I was on vacation for 2 weeks. Give me a break. Our Owls bowling team competed at the district tournament, and they advanced several people to the sectionals in October. They had 3 gold medals, 10 silver, and 7 bronze medals. So that's pretty spectacular. Out of 20 people, everybody placed. So that's amazing. So congratulations first to our athletes who participated, but also congratulations and thanks to all the staff that make those programs possible. We also have a couple other events coming up, and Trustee Castinas is going to cross them off her list. The Veterans Golf Classic coming up on August 27th at Silver Lake Country Club. We appreciate everybody supporting that. And also the Great Pumpkin Party coming up on October 5th at Centennial Park. So, thank you all. Have a great night.
Trustee Katsinas.
Yes, you did steal my thunder, Trustee Milani. Thank you. The Great Pumpkin Party is really a great party. If you have kids under the age about 10 and under, it's a wonderful thing, a wonderful event. My little guy's still talking about it, my grandson, when he's going to go to the patch to get his pumpkin again. If you didn't see our police awards on our committee of the whole meeting, if you're watching this live, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Just outstanding work by our police department. We have 5 new officers that are joining the family, and we have a lot of police promotions. So exceptionally proud of all they do to keep us all safe, our residents and our businesses. So thank you, Chief, and thank you to your entire staff. Also, Brian, welcome to the board, and look forward to getting to know you more, and you've done a great job for a first time, way better than Mr. O'Sullivan did, but we won't tell him that. But also, I wanted to say thank you to Pat O'Sullivan, for his service to Orland Park here in the village and also in District 230. It's only because he relocated that he stepped down, so he is sorely missed, and I wish Patrick and his family the very best. Thank you.
Trustee Reardon.
Thank you. Yeah, not try to repeat everything, but the concert was fantastic on Saturday. I mean, just the smiles and the show that was put on, what great acts that we've chosen. I mean, people want to come here. You're getting the buzz about the different bookers and the agents that they're really talking about it. It's just a fantastic facility. Living right there is great. People who complain about it, I have no idea. It's the nicest thing to be able to walk home within like 5 minutes. The soccer team that was here, again, my daughter does play there, and the reason it's connected to Orland Park is about half the players have lived in Orland or do live in Orland, and it's actually our facilities. Coach Jose runs as much as he can through Orland Park because of the great facilities we have, all the fields that we have, and that's where all the practices are. That's where they all developed. So that's great. Thank you to the public who came out and talked about the annexation issues. I think we tried to express it last week or 2 weeks ago, and we got the letters out. We much rather work together and work out some sort of an agreement. This is not, I mean, I think a lot of misinformation was out there. We are not going after, trees and great parts of the town that we have. Every project we've done, we've been very careful. Kashid's office, and I know the mayor specifically, about 100-year-old trees. We try to we move around them. We take extra time just to make sure we're not doing that kind of thing. So nobody here is, the tax money is so small compared to what we're actually trying to do. So that's it. Thanks to staff. That was the thing. I know Sean said it, but the staff was great. I saw Ray at the concert, the police department. Everybody was great. It's been a really good year, and looking forward to all of it next year too. Thanks.
Trustee Healy.
I'd also like to pile on to welcome to Brian. I met Brian for a number of times for breakfast. I've always thought he went golfing after that for the rest of the day, so I'm glad to see he's got something else to do now to fill in the time. I was impressed by tonight I was impressed by the authentic pride and the authentic dedication displayed by the police department and their families. It's so special, and it's great that we give these awards out. I think it's great for the department, but also a good display for the community, too. I was impressed by the soccer teams and their achievements. That was, they're growing up fast, so it's good to see them have some success with that. So they were poised and, beautiful kids. And I was impressed by the residents of Silver Lakes Drive and Silver Lake Dells for coming out. Those are exactly the type of people we want in Orland. They're engaged. They're with the facts, and there's one or two that may not be, ideal, but people are engaged and enthused and talk civilly, and it's just willing to come out and participate in the process. And this is just all part of the process. So I hope that we need more citizens like that. So I think that they'd be, from what I've seen, that they'd be a great addition, but they'll make up their own minds. So thank them for coming out. That's it.
Thank you. So my comments tonight, I want to thank the members of Silver Lake Dells the ones that came here and spoke respectfully last time. A pro tip for anyone who comes and speaks to the board: be respectful. It's a lot easier to get things done. Threats, anyone who's seen me or this board knows we don't really respond well to them. Not that many people do, but we certainly aren't cowed by them. The attorneys here on the board, when was the last time you addressed a judge by their first name? Not very respectful. So some people should know better. So it's a pro tip for everybody. Be respectful. You're more likely to be listened to. You're more likely to be heard. I also want to do a plug for the Veterans Golf Outing coming up next week. So please come join us. Try and beat the mayor. Good thing it's not a putting contest, because that's crappy for me right now, but I can still hit my irons, so that's what you got to beat me on. But I think there's a Bentonardi putter for the winner of the raffle for that. So there are some good prizes there. The last concert was fantastic. we had 2 rainstorms during that. Every concert, we had rainstorms. Yet we still had over 3,000 people through the gates. It was still a fantastic concert. Mark Martell was great again. The Billy Joel tribute band was, also fantastic. All of the acts this year have loved the venue, want to come back. And people had a great time, as Sean said. Even with all that rain, we had a lot of walk-ups, and still people had a great time. And we had a ton of rain over 4 days, and still the venue held the rain pretty well, which before we would have been flooded and we would have had to cancel it. So great work on everyone. I thanked a lot of people Saturday night. It was also my 40-year class reunion there. But the one group that I was remiss and forgot to thank was staff. So I did not thank staff. I thanked all the sponsors and everybody else, but thank you to the staff for all the hard work, for all of you that volunteered to come out there, for all that you did. Thanks for Recreation for getting the Sandberg fight song put in there. That was a cool little touch as well. So thank you all for all you did all year long to get that going. Thanks to Krishid and Ray and Joel for making sure that that venue got completed not completed, it's still not quite completed, but completed enough to hold all of our concerts, which we did. Thank you, Chief, for keeping us all safe like you always do. And of course, all the department. That brings me to the police awards. We have an outstanding police department from top to bottom, as I said earlier tonight. Great officers, great leadership from sergeants, lieutenants, commanders, deputy chief, all of our administrative staff, the support of the staff here, at the Village Hall of them, the support of the board, the support of the boards before us. It's funny, we hear this all the time because we get it all the time. The board does the constant attacks from people that hate everything we do. If you really care about Orland Park, it's impossible to hate everything we do. And I may have disagreed with my predecessor a lot, and trust me, everyone here knows I did. But I can't ever complain about how they supported our police department, ever. So everyone, as far back as I remember, supported our police department. And so I want to thank them as well, all the boards that came before us for all they did, because it's what's helped us have such a great police department. And thanks for hiring Eric 20-some years ago, because now he's a great chief. Lastly, I want to welcome Brian Gaspardo for stepping up and becoming clerk, and he adapted very quickly. Much quicker than Pat, like she said. And I also want to thank Pat O'Sullivan. I'll say more when he's here. But Pat O'Sullivan for his service for us, but also he's been serving District 230 for, 16 years or something like that. So he's been serving for a very long time. He served the community, and he grew up in Payless, and he's been in the area for a very long time. So very passionate, did a good job. He also didn't run with any of us, and yet blended right in right away, and was just like us, focusing on the good of Orland Park. So want to thank him for that. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Compass.
I move to go into executive session for A, discussion of the minutes of closed meetings, B, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village, or when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent, C, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performances, or dismissal of specific village employees.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Compass?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. Go into executive session.